Printing comes to India. During the ancient period in India, manuscripts were handwritten in Sanskrit, Persian, Arabic and vernacular languages. They were then copied on palm leaves or on handmade paper. Manuscripts were published well into the late 19th century. These manuscripts were not widely used as they were fragile, expensive and had to be handled carefully. The Portuguese missionaries of Goa introduced the printing press in India in the later half of the 17th century. About 50 books in Konkani and Kannada languages were published by Jesuit priests. This was followed by the publication of Malayalam and Tamil texts. In 1780, James Augustus Hickory began the publication of the English weekly magazine Bengal Gazette. Because he published a lot of gossip about the company officials in India, the then Governor-General, Warren Hastings, persecuted Hickey and encouraged the sanctioning of all news items that could damage the image of the colonial government. Bengal Gazette was the first weekly to be published by an Indian, Gangadhar Bhattacharya. Religious reforms and public debates. Publication of various newspapers and magazines resulted in many public debates and discussions which were mostly centered on religious and social issues. Raja Ram Mohan Roy began the publication of Sambad Kaumudi in 1821. In this paper, he criticized the orthodox Hindu practices. Two new Persian newspapers, Jam-i-Jahan Nama and Shamsul Akbar, began to be published. At the same time, the Bombay Samachar began to be published in Gujarati. Many ulemas published translations of the Muslim holy scriptures. They also published thousands of fatwas, asking the Muslims to follow strict Islamic practices. Many Hindi religious texts were also published in vernacular languages during this time. Ramcharitmanas written by Tulsidas was published in Calcutta in 1810. Newspapers connected communities and people in different parts of India. It made people aware of their surroundings and informed them of events taking place in the other parts of the country, thus laying a foundation for the creation of pan-Indian identities. New forms of publications. Many new forms of writing came into circulation in India. Short stories, lyrics and essays on political and cultural lives were being published. The printing press also enabled the reproduction of visual images. Paintings of Raja Ravi Varma were circulated widely. Cheap prints and calendars could even be bought by the poor section of society. Several religious and social messages were propagated with the help of these media. By the 1870s, we find the publication of various cartoons and caricatures in newspapers. While some cartoons ridiculed Indians imitating the Western style of dressing, the imperial cartoons criticized the nationalist. Subscribe to us on https://www.youtube.com/c/vikrambooks